2017.
Social injustice is the new black. People wear their racism like a new pair of Adidas superstars.
We have a set of 30 basic human rights.
Dictionary definition: a collection of rights that are believed to belong justifiably to every person.
A term that is flagrantly disregarded by our government, our legal system, our oppressors. Crazy to think humanity exceeded a level of contempt towards one another, that laws were put in place to shelter those struggling to just be themselves. We seek solace in unity while individuality threatens our ideal norm.
Our children in this town have no concern for the environment they live in. We don't have to think twice about the skin we were born in.
Good.
Let us use our advantage to be allies for those being denied their human rights.
Right now, there is a mother frantically searching through mounds of bloody concrete for her 2 little boys, her 2 twin sunshines. One of them 7 years old and one barely 3 months. By the end of the night, she will have buried each half of her heart under the blood-soaked dirt of Syria. One wrapped in a sheet with his feet sticking out, and one still fallen left to fit in a shoebox. Our children in Aleppo have blue lips and dark marks around their eyes, and we make ourselves deaf to their cries, either in apathy or fear of getting labeled a terrorist supporter.
In Tenancingo, Mexico, a 13-year-old girl thinks she's found the love of her life. He was cocky and charismatic.
He had money and fast cars.
It all seemed too good to be true, but she came from a poor family that didn't think twice when they caught sight of a shooting star. They closed their eyes and wished on it. A week later, he took her to the city to meet his family.
Now she lives in that city. She even has a job. 10 a.m. to midnight, 15 to 30 minute day.
She closes her eyes so she doesn't see what they're doing to her. She only cries harder when they laugh at her tears.
Her clients are judges, priests, pastors, police officers. They think it is love when it is just the same story of recruitment every time.
In Tenancingo, Mexico, 1 in 5 children want to be a pimp when they grow up.
It's a family business. The title is passed from grandfather to father, father to son.
There are no punishments in this city, not when the boys in blue are holding hands with the city's most notorious families, well known for their long line of human trafficking.
But that's in Mexico. This is America. We are not China, not Uganda, Nepal, or Pakistan.
The 4th leading country in human trafficking.
Not Haiti or Bangladesh.
The 1st leading country in human trafficking.
So why should we talk about it? Speak louder.
Young minds are being blinded by their parents' black and white opinions. Speak louder.
They can't hear you.
Speak
louder. Make yourself heard and stand up for those who have been silenced for the wrong reasons. Just because something doesn't affect you directly doesn't mean it's not affecting others. Stand up to the 55-year-old babbling on about how inferior our generation is.
This generation is full of lazy, entitled kids whose only talents include texting and complaining. Back in my day, we wrote letters. We didn't text. We appreciated human communication. Back in my day, we worked for our paychecks. We didn't value labor. Back in my day, we did what we were told and we didn't talk.
Back in your day, there was no national housing crisis, suffocating student loan debts, a broken healthcare system. Your generation left us in a grave. We were forced to dig ourselves out while being informed that it's our fault we're there. Back in your day, there were minimal rallies and protests, scarce outward expression of thoughts that threaten the ones that have been imprinted on us for so long. Discrimination still lingers in daily conversation, but millennials are fighting for things like marriage equality,
Feminism,
freedom of gender expression,
equal pay,
the right to vote,
freedom of religion. All these social issues that grew static from lack of recognition back in your day.
When you were 10, you asked your mom why racism existed. The answer was less than satisfactory.
That's just the way it is.
When you were 12, your heart ached at the commercials featuring African children feasting on water. They were confronted by the phrase,
"That's just the way it is."
When you were 14, you questioned why females were advised to carry pepper spray and wear their miniskirts. Your dad was quick to remind you,
"That's just the way it is."
And now you are older. You are educated and you are awakened to a world that conceals issues with vague excuses.
That's just the way it is.
The phrase taunts you rather than supplying amenity.
That's just
you
the way it
hesitate
is.
to object because staying silent seems so innocent.
That's just the way it is.
Your neutrality is being used as gasoline to fuel their animosity. Let me remind you of a few words from Desmond T. If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. You have become a fascist to a movement of hatred.
In 1892, our Pledge of Allegiance was written.
In 1892, European immigrants were flocking to America, the brand new land of the free.
But these weren't the right kind of Europeans. They were
Italian, Irish, Polish, German, Jewish, and Gypsy.
The Orientals were slightly below the blacks, who were considered less than human. This is the world our Pledge of Allegiance was written in. Yet I get dirty looks for questioning the verses that have been drilled into our minds since pre-K.
In our pledge, we claim to be indivisible, yet you will not let us be one.
The gap between the wealthy and the poor is only being encouraged, and I've lost track of how many times our new figurehead of America has made it blatantly clear just how unwelcome some citizens are.
Supporting freedom of religion makes me a terrorist patron.
Advocating for gay rights must mean I'm gay.
We don't dare speak of feminism. All these years of education, and yet no teacher taught us the beauty in standing alone. They expect us to keep our opinions in our pockets, only revealing them at favorable times. But what if the seams in my pockets aren't willing to hold the heaviness of my words? Our opinions are not meant to be contained. We idolize perfection in our minds when we should be seeking authenticity. Political correctness taunts the minds of those who sit in silence, those hesitant to speak, intimidated by a society that puts emphasis on perfection.
The apathy in the air is crowding what little voice we have left. Scares me to think we've gone to the point where we'd rather stay quiet and swallow our opinions than engage in a dispute that seems to always end in one inevitable outcome. She has no chill.
Damn right we have no chill. This is a cold world and it's only getting colder. Impassivity acts as a comfort zone that inhibits change.
As William Shedd said, ships are safe in their harbor, but that's not what ships are for.
Use the voice you were born with to speak for those who didn't have one to begin with. Speak louder.